Hello students, I am Dr. Saliha Jamal from Department of Geography, Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. So if you remember student, the first lecture we started in spatial analysis where we discussed about the concepts of the spatial analysis, types of spatial analysis, component of spatial analysis in detail. So basically this lecture is summary of that first lecture. Here we are going to just review what spatial analysis is, its types and components in order to develop more understanding among you all. So let us start today's lecture. What spatial analysis is? Simply we can here say the spatial analysis is modeling location, specific problems, identifying patterns, assessing spatial data in order to make the decision. Because we are talking here about the two terms, spatial and analysis. So, spatial, here we are going to analyze the spatial entities, objects, or we can say different spatial phenomena in order to get some new information or some useful information. And even spatial analysis is that much useful and that it can reveal such information that is simply otherwise it remains invisible. So basically what I mean here, we can take different data, spatial data from different sources, and here we can combine also different data sets or spatial data in a particular environment, maybe in GIS environment, in order to get the various information or new information. This is not new. We know that lots of data are existing, we can say, and we generally acquire data from the different sources, maybe through the satellite imageries, maybe through the aircrafts, maybe through some GPS survey, maybe some simply primary survey, drones. So we have lots of sources to acquire data. So in spatial analysis, we make use of all this data. Even we can integrate all this data which are on different scale. We can normalize data and we can integrate it in order to get the information. So lots of voluminous data is existing from the long time, but the basic task is we have to extract the usable information according to the set criteria, or we can say according to the use. So basically the spatial analysis includes all, that is it includes transformation of because while combining, or even we can create the subset of the data. For example, subset of the data, if we are having the data in terms of the population count, or we are having the data in terms of the area, so we can get the population density of the particular places, means we are creating the subset. So we can even manipulate our data set, we can transform the data set, and different methods can be applied on this spatial data to actually turn the things into useful information. So basically this is spatial analysis. I would like to give here one example. Suppose if we have to find out the income of certain group of population. So this will not imply the spatial analysis, because the location is not affecting the we can say the income of a particular group of population. So this does not qualify spatial analysis. But on the other hand, if we have to evaluate the population of the capital city of the capital of the Uttar Pradesh, means we are generally concerned with the location, residence location, that is capital of Uttar Pradesh. We have to evaluate the population of capital of Uttar Pradesh. Mainly it is related to the residence location. So this implies the spatial data sets, or we can say spatial information, or we can go for the spatial analysis. So this is the difference which is to be considered as spatial analysis and which cannot. So in this spatial analysis, actually it is a combination of different tools, techniques and technologies in order to answer the some spatial relations, or we can say some spatial patterns, trends, some spatial relations and auto correlations. So these tools and techniques which are generally used in spatial analysis, these can find out whether in spatial data set some sort of relationship is existing or not, some sort of autocorrelation is existing, some pattern is there, some anomalies is there, that you can assess from the data sets. It uses variety of, we can say, computational models, analytical techniques, algorithm approaches in order to assimilate all the spatial information and define suitability for the targeted system. So overall we can say spatial analysis models the location, it models the specific spatial problems, it identifies certain patterns, it assesses the spatial data in order to have more informed and smart decisions. Basically, this spatial analysis, one of the most important thing I would like to discuss here a little bit. These all spatial analysis for which in which several functions can be operated is GIS, that is Geographic Information System. It has a complete environment where we can acquire data, where we can capture data, and we can process the data. After processing, we can go for analyzing the data. Then certain useful information can be extracted and it will be used for informed decision making or for smart decision making. So this actually GIS provides a complete environment where we can acquire, capture data, where we can store data, where we can process the spatial data, we can analyze the spatial data, we can get through new insights from the spatial data for better decision making. So what are now the types of spatial analysis? In our detailed discussion of the previous lecture, we have discussed all these types of spatial analysis in detail. So these are the queries, measurement, transformation, descriptive summary, optimization and hypothesis testing. These are the major 6 types of we can say spatial analysis. So as per to your course, I can say syllabus, we have to study 4 analysis in detail spatial analysis, that is queries, reasoning, measurement, transformation and descriptive summary. If we talk about the queries and reasoning, as the word is signifying query, something we are asking. So basically queries are, the user posts some questions. So queries means the user here is posing some question which is to be answered. So query and reasoning are one of the, we can say, simplest form of spatial analysis where no new data sets are created, no manipulation in data sets can be seen. Simply here the user asks questions about the spatial features and their properties. So it is one of the simplest form of spatial analysis because in order to understand and interpret the spatial relationship or the patterns which is existing in the spatial data. It involves retrieving specific information from the spatial database based on the spatial relationships, or we can say the criteria. Actually, spatial queries extracts out, filter out the useful information. It prepares, by extracting the useful information, it prepares the data for the further analysis. So simply the task of the user is to ask question, to pose question regarding some type of we can say patterns or trends which is existing in the data. For example, here we can say which counties have a population density greater than 1000 people per square mile. Means simply we are asking here which are the counties. We have to select the counties, that is having population density of more than 1000 per square mile. Means we are not creating the new data here, we are not manipulating also the data. For example, another examples you can take here, how many wells are within 10 kilometer? Means within a certain distance, how many wells are there? Again, I would like to say here we are not manipulating the whatever the well location that is existing in 10 kilometer. then we have to just give out the number, how many was. We are not creating new data, or even we are not, we can say some sort of transformation is taking in the data sets. For example, here there is spatial query in QGIS. QGIS, as we know, this is the open source spatial about the accessibility of the metro station. So simply in the query, here we have given metro station accessibility, and you can find all the metro station accessibility you can see here. So after discussing the queries and reasoning, which is one of the simplest form of, we can say, spatial analysis, another important spatial analysis is measurement. As the word signifies measurement, measurement here is also simply, that is, we can say, quantification, that is the calculation of, we are talking about the distance, calculation of areas, perimeters, certain angles, or we can say overall different geometric properties. So here we are dealing with the quantification, or we can say simply the calculation of different geometric features, that is or different spatial features. That features may be point feature, line feature, area feature, or etc. So for example, what is the area of Central Valley polygon? Simply here we have to calculate the area of the polygon. And what is the distance between the two hospitals? Means one hospital, another hospital. What is the distance between these two hospitals? So we have to calculate the distance between the two hospitals. What is the area of Central Valley polygons? Means we have to here evaluate, calculate the area of the Central Valley polygon. So basically the measurement involves quantification of different attributes related to the spatial extent. We are talking about the attributes of the spatial attributes, that is in raster data, we can say. We are dealing here with the raster data, a quantification of specific attributes that is related to the spatial extent in terms of the location, arrangement, features in geographic space. So measurements are very important, I can say. It plays a very important role in understanding the patterns, relationships and characteristics within the spatial data. So it is one of the very important, one of the type of spatial analysis, and through the measurement it includes various aspects like distance, area, volume, length, parameter, aspect, slope, elevation. All these measurements can be performed through this type. Another important type of spatial analysis is transformation. When it comes to transformation, some changes are, transformation means some changes are taking place. So actually what we have seen, that in queries and reasoning, no new data sets are created, or no manipulation is is performed. So opposite to that, in transformation, we go we proceed through changing data, even through transforming the data or manipulation of the data sets. For example, changing the shape, size, orientation, location of the spatial features, such as through rotating, scaling, projecting or buffering. Means we are changing the shape, size or orientation and all through these tools and techniques. For example, change, projecting the coordinates from WGS 84 to UTM. Totally here we are transforming it from WGS to UTM. Buffer the roads by 50 meters. Suppose this is the road and here we are buffer. Buffer is delineating the zone on the basis of set distance. So distance is what? Actually this is 50 meter. Distance is 50 meter. So here what we have, buffer the road by 50 meter. Means new data sets are created, manipulation and transformation of data can be seen. This is what we can say simply transformation. Coming to the optimization, again as the word signifies, optimization is finding out the best solution, or we can say outcome of a spatial problem. Simply optimization, finding out the optimal location of certain facilities and amenities, which is the optimal location, ideal location constructing a new hospital, which is the ideal location for the construction of the new park or school. That is finding out the best solution or outcome for the spatial problem. That may be in terms of cost, considering the cost, distance, time, etc. Let us take one example here, student. Where is the optimal location for the new hospital? What should be the, maybe it should be near the residential areas, it should be easily accessible to the people, it should have the proper road networking connectivity to that hospital, etc. So, where is the optimal location for the new hospital? What is the fastest route to visit all the customers? Means optimum location. We are talking about the optimum location. So, this is what the optimization. Coming to another, that is the descriptive summaries. Talking about descriptive summaries means description, means computing the statistics that describes. We are here what? Evaluating, computing the statistic which basically describes the distribution, variation or correlation of spatial entities, spatial features or their attributes. Means computing these statistics and then describing what type of distribution is existing, what type of variation is existing, what type of correlation between certain objects, spatial entities or phenomena is existing, or even to their attributes such as in mean, median, standard deviation, spatial autocorrelation, etc. Let us take the example. What is the average elevation of the train? We may take the average elevation of the train. Another example, what is the spatial pattern of the crime incidents? What is the spatial, where there is sparsely distributed or somewhere clustering takes place, hotspots analysis can be done. So, these are what we can say about the descriptive summaries. Another one is, last one is hypothesis testing. If you see, this one is hypothesis testing, simply testing the validity or significance of spatial claim or assumption. Whatever we are claiming, whatever we are assuming, according to the assumption, we are going to check its significance or the validity of our claim for the particular spatial features, and we can say our assumptions for the particular spatial features. And this is generally, the validity is checked through the certain test, maybe t-test, ANOVA test, through the regression, etc. For example, is there a significant difference between income between urban and rural areas, or is there a causal relationship between air pollution and the health outcomes? Simply, whatever our assumption is, we are going to check its validity with the help of certain tests. That test may be regression, t-test, ANOVA test, etc. This is what the we can say hypothesis testing. Coming to the components of spatial analysis, how we have to proceed it with in this proceed in for the spatial analysis. For the spatial analysis, first thing we need is the data. We have to collect data, we have to acquire data, and we know that we acquire data from the different sources, maybe from the satellite imagery, maybe from GPS, maybe from the surveys encompassing vector or the raster data. I have discussed already. There are two types of spatial data can be represented in two types, that may be in raster form or in vector form. Vector form, generally in GIS environment, we represent in point feature, line feature, that is point feature, line feature, line feature, and we can say area or polygon feature. So, this is basically the vector. Raster is, that is the pixels, that is the pixels we can say, and each pixel has its own characteristic property, that is attribute. That is what we can say the raster. So, basically first thing is to we have to acquire data from the different sources. After this, data processing is to be done, means cleaning of data, standardization of the data, that is simply we can say preparing the data for the main analysis, for the further analysis, because we have acquired data from the various sources which may be on different scale, different units, etc. That data, firstly the cleaning is to be performed, that data should be normalized, that is known as standardization of the data. We have to standardize the data, we have to prepare the data actually for the further analysis, that is known as data processing. Then after that, that is exploratory spatial data analysis. Exploratory is once when data is prepared for the further analysis. So previously at a glance, we will go through it, we will explore, we will find out just by visualizing it or through some statistical analysis, prior statistical analysis. Is there any type of pattern is existing? Is any type of relationship is existing? That is what we can say exploratory spatial data analysis. We go through the visualization or following some simple statistical techniques. We find out certain patterns, anomalies or relationships if existing in the spatial data. Then certain spatial operations are performed. Those operations may be computational, we can say those operations may be geometric, may be the topological operations. For example, buffering, for example, overlaying. Buffering means simply what I have said, if it is a line feature road, buffer is to be drawn. Or overlaying is what? Taking different layers, different data sets and combining together to get some new information. This is what we can say overlaying. So certain spatial operations are performed, maybe topological operation, maybe geometric operation in terms of buffering, overlaying in order to create new data sets. So actually here new data sets are creating. Then spatial modeling can be performed, that is based on mathematical or computational models in order to simulate and analyze the spatial phenomena. So based on these particular models with the computational mathematicals, we generally simulate and analyze the particular spatial phenomena. Then certain spatial statistics is to be performed, applying certain statistical methods in order to find out the spatial patterns, relationships, autocorrelations, significance, etc. Then the spatial decision support system comes. A spatial decision support system simply designing systems in order to facilitate decision making in spatial contents, decision making for the spatial phenomena. Here what we are doing, we are designing certain systems which will facilitate the decision making process in terms of the spatial features, phenomena, etc. by integrating analysis tools and visualization techniques. Means here we are integrating all analysis tools and visualization techniques. Then after this, revisualization can be performed. Revisualization means creating maps, charts or certain interactive visualizations in order to effectively communicate spatial patterns and relationships. That is what we can say revisualization. We will create certain map, charts for etc. We may create certain line graph, we may create certain pie chart. So at a glance we can get various information. So and lastly validation and interpretation. Assessing the accuracy of our information, that is retrieved information, the reliability of the retrieved information that is received through the spatial analysis, through the comparison of observed data, or we can even through the expert opinion. So these are the basic process, we can say components of the spatial analysis, how we have to proceed in spatial analysis. First thing is acquisition of the data, then we have to normalize the data, we have to prepare the data for further analysis, that is data processing. Then we have to explore the data in priority, whether some sort of patterns, relationships are existing, that is what exploratory spatial data analysis. Then we have to perform certain certain spatial operations, maybe topological, maybe geometrical, in terms of the buffering, overlaying, etc. Then we can go for the spatial modeling. That is, we can develop mathematical and computational model to simulate and analyze the spatial phenomena. That is what we can say spatial modeling. Then certain spatial statistics can be applied to find out the certain patterns, relationships and the significance. Then spatial decision support system, in which we design certain system to facilitate decision making for the spatial context. Then revisualization, we proceed to revisualization, that we create certain maps, interactive visualizations in order to communicate the information more efficiently. Then finally validation and the interpretation. Here we validate our information, retrieved information through the spatial analysis by the observed data or by the expert's opinion. So these are the components of spatial analysis. So in short, the processes is setting what is our problem. According to the problem, we have to collect data, the data which is required to address the particular problem. We can say we have to identify the data, which are the methods to be applied on that particular data. Then we have to process the data and finally look at the result. So basically these are the processes we go through. That is, we can say planning process. Simply when we define our problem, we have to plan how we have to proceed everything while we doing certain. For example, student, just take before the examinations, when examination dates are announced, you generally plan which is subject is to be studied first, then which is in last, in how many days we are going to complete the syllabus for a particular subject. This is what we can say pre-planning. So here also, when the problem is identified, accordingly the planning is to be performed. While in that planning, we will define our goals and objectives, which is to be retrieved with the completion of the spatial analysis. We have to identify the spatial questions which needs to be addressed on the basis of the set criteria. That is what we can say planning means. We have to plan overall approach, how we have to proceed step by step. Then we proceed for the data gathering. We collect data through several methods, maybe through the field survey, through the existing data sets, maybe data obtained through the remote sensing information, etc. So that data gathering should take place. Then exploratory analysis must take place. Exploratory analysis is simply, we can say, initial exploration. We are exploring in data initially. So if certain type of patterns or anomalies is existing, then hypothesis formation takes place. Develop certain hypotheses or theories based on the patterns and observations which we have found out in exploratory analysis. Whatever the observation we have find out in exploratory analysis, based on that information we develop certain hypotheses. After developing hypothesis, we apply spatial modeling techniques in order to test the formulated hypothesis. Maybe that ANOVA test, t-test, regression, or etc. we can say. Then we go for the consultation and review. Means here we generally engage ourselves with the experts, with the stakeholders, or we can say relevant individuals, organization, in order to get the feedback on our analysis, on our models and result. That is what we can say consultation and review. And finally we can say the reporting or implementation, that whatever information we have retrieved, communicate our findings and results of the spatial analysis depending on the context, depending on the set criteria. Recommendations can be implemented or used for certain informed decision making or for certain smart decision making. So this is what we can say reporting and implementation. So these all we have seen what is spatial analysis, types of spatial analysis, components of spatial analysis, processes in spatial analysis. In brief, we have discussed, because first lecture also dealt with the same topic, but that was in detail, and here we have reviewed to make you better understand regarding the concept of the spatial analysis. So finally, if you have understood the concept of the spatial analysis, you may be you may be thinking, what is the significance, what is the importance of this spatial analysis, why we are studying this spatial analysis? So little bit, because in detail we are going to discuss in the later lectures, but here little bit I would like to introduce what is the significance of spatial analysis. The first thing here, I can say, optimized resource location. Through the spatial analysis, we can say efficient resource distribution can be performed, maybe based on the spatial factors, finding out which areas are lacking in resources, which areas in lacking in certain amenities and facilities. Accordingly, we can have the resource distribution. Not only this is even spatial analysis can be used in environmental protection, because it identifies and conserve the ecologically vulnerable areas, the ecologically important areas, and can also find out the spatial relationships among the different habitats, or we can say the ecosystems, etc. Thus, it has the significance for the environmental protection. Another one is effective disaster management. It assesses the vulnerability and plans responses by analyzing the spatial aspect. Then in smart urban planning, lots of things can be done for the smart urban planning, finding out the ideal location for the certain the services, amenities and facilities, for the network analysis, for the construction of the roads. We can go for overlay analysis. Even we can find out the sustainable land use in order to make the cities more resilient, more livable. So, lot of applications of spatial analysis can be seen in smart urban planning. Even precision in epidemiology, tracks like disease, origin of the disease, it tracks origin of the disease, diffusion, spread of the disease pattern, cluster or hotspot analysis can be done, and accordingly informed targeted healthcare interventions can be done. So basically these are the few of the, I can say, importance of the spatial analysis, and in our later lectures we are going to discuss its application, its importance with in more detail. So that's all for today, students. Have a good day. Thank you.